What's up, guys? Welcome back to Noah's Archives. If this is your first time joining us on Noah's Archives, this podcast is all about informing the struggling college student or the incoming college student all about the trials and things that happen in college life. If that interests you, go ahead and subscribe and follow, guys. Today's episode, specifically, we're talking about something really huge, and it's the topic of common mistakes that freshmen make and all students make, and how we can avoid them and be very aware of them so that we don't encounter the consequences that those actions have. Please enjoy, and thank you for listening. Bye, guys. What's up, guys? Noah Boyd here. And you already know, this is Noah's Archives. And you might be wondering, why would we talk about this topic? And just like every episode, of course, I have somewhat of a connection to this topic. Freshman year is very important. It can set you up for success, or it can be the determining factor of whether you're going to be set back or pushed forward. I myself have obviously gone through a freshman year, and my freshman year, as you already know, and if you've watched the episodes before, you know I've struggled and have struggled and did struggle my freshman year. Now, the decisions that I'm going to be talking about and a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, I encountered actually in my sophomore year because of the people I was surrounding myself with. And I want you guys, the audience, to know that I've learned and regret a lot. And I want you to avoid the situations and consequences that I faced. I stayed up too late, I went to places I shouldn't have, I hung out with people I shouldn't have, because I was like, these choices don't really matter, like, there's no real consequences to these things, it's just another one-off decision to do these things. But I can remember my freshman year, when obviously I didn't hang out at school much, so I was very, how do I put this? I was very focused on my job at the point. And I can say where it was at. It was at Nukes. And Nukes is a great place if you're looking to get some financial freedom. So they pay pay very well. Not good well, it's not English. But they pay nice. But the people there really affected me. Once I found myself aligning with what these people were saying and joking about and doing, I didn't even recognize I had gone that far. I think looking back, that season of my life was the most moral and mentally dark I'd ever been, and definitely spiritually dark. And like I just said, like, the worst part, looking back, is it felt so normal to be in that situation. And it felt so normal because everyone around me was doing worse things than me, or they were bragging about the things that they were doing. So I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not doing that, so I'm okay. But it affected me a lot. So that's why I feel like we need to kind of have like an awareness about these things that I'm going to be talking about. So, because it wasn't just the work environment that affected me, I chose to do other things as well, like surrounding school and my decisions with that, as well as when hanging out with those people at work, there were places I shouldn't have gone. And that's just the baseline of things. Like, there are things you shouldn't do, and people you surround yourself with are going to make it feel like it's okay to do those things. But that's when we get into the three things that I'm going to be talking about today. So yeah, the three things that I want us to really tackle and be aware of, and I feel like we're a lot more sensitive to, are, I guess I put 3 P's is the way I labeled it and have sectioned it off. You have partying and the people there. That's not two, that's one. Partying and people. Procrastination and poor decisions. Those are the three things that we're going to dive into. So let's start with the partying. And when I say partying, I know it's very different at my school compared to a lot of others, but I don't want you to think that this means you can't have fun or go to hangouts or gatherings around campus or outside of campus. But I want you to realize what a lot of these hangouts end up being, or these functions. That's a little nerdy to say, but what a lot of these group activities are. Because you think you have really strong boundaries, but once you get thrown into scenarios that you didn't know existed or didn't know were there, those boundaries just fall apart and crumble. So I think one tip I'd give is know your limits, protect yourself, and really reinforce those boundaries. Like one of the biggest things that I was told as I was learning about these things and growing up was, if you think it's wrong or you think it could be wrong, why are you entertaining it? So like, for example, like if you hear, I don't want to throw like Greek life under the table, but there's a lot of Greek life things, and if you picture one of their parties and you're like, I like these people that are going, but there could be this thing to happen. There could be this thing to happen. Why would you go? Like, you're entertaining it at that point. And I think it ties in heavily with sin in your life. And I feel like in your own life, you can see yourself towing that boundary of like, ooh, is this sin? Ooh, is this okay? And that in and of itself is wrong. So you need to protect yourself in that sense. That's what I mean by put those boundaries up and set up good protections for that. It's really easy to lose, on the face value, sleep, and money, and more serious, morals, when you're trying to have a good time. I think one thing people fail to realize is, although there's a stigma to it, that a lot of the other campus functions outside of like Greek life or those partying scenes, the campus life, whether it be like through the SGA, the events they put on, or other, I don't want to say ministries because it's not just ministries, but there's a lot of different groups that set up events. Although there's a stigma that they're like, ooh, those are boring, why would you go to those things? They're fun. If you intentionally seek those opportunities out to meet people and just make friends, those are really fun times. And yes, maybe playing gaga ball in the middle of a auditorium isn't what you want to do, but it can be fun with the people you're around. It's okay to be a child for a little bit. So I think another one line I'd say is, it doesn't need to be frat parties or going out to these crazy, sketchy places at night. Like, you can do these things at, it's 7 p.m. and the SGA has an event in the student center. I'm gonna go to that instead of going out at 11 p.m. or midnight to these random things. So hopefully that is a good picture of why it's important and what you can do different. The second thing that I feel like is important for students is the second P, and that's procrastination. Procrastination is a lot lighter than what I just talked about, but school decisions and school studying habits and work habits are also very important, and it's easy to make poor decisions regarding those. It's very easy to start with one and say it's just one, and it start building up. Once you do it once, you're going to be more and more desensitized to that action. And that goes for everything in life, but specifically about procrastination, you're like, okay, it's 11:55, I haven't done this assignment yet, I just won't turn it in. You start doing that, you're going to build a habit to it. You're like, my grade didn't drop that much, therefore, let's just not do another one. I'd rather go do a party, go out. I'd rather have fun than do these. It's just a little slope, and you continue to slide and slide until you look back and you're 2 weeks out of the end of the trimester or semester, and you're like, I have a D in this class, or I have a C in this class. How am I going to pull this up? And it's because you've skipped or missed 3 or 4 different assignments. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was going to happen. So I know what helped me was creating a simple planning habits, like a weekly, let's organize what I have this week. I think episode 2 was a lot of this attacking this procrastination point. Like episode 2 is a great to combat that from sneaking up on you, I guess. And one small thing that I didn't mention in episode 2, but like a small practical thing that helps is just try doing an assignment early. We love pushing things back until the last moment, but try it. Try and do something before the night that it's due. Like if it's due on a Wednesday night, just try doing Monday night. For no reason, just do it. And you're like, oh wow, I have a lot more time in the week. It just helps a lot. The third P and the third poor decision that I feel like a lot of people, freshmen and any college student makes are just poor decision makings and peer pressure and exhaustion. Like those are the 3 things that I feel like all come together to just make poor decisions. If you're becoming sleep deprived, if you're overstimulated, or if you're feeling pressured, those are not good. Do not find yourself in those if you can at all control that. Do not make decisions or act when you feel those ways, if at all possible. I know in my life it is very easy for me to get overstimulated, and I neglect sleep a lot. I can't make decisions when I'm in those moments because I'm very vulnerable. And not in like the, ooh, I'm a victim here, but it's like I will go crazy or say something I don't mean, or I won't do what I know I want to do because of the feelings or headspace that I'm in. So whether it's making a poor decision to text this one person or skip class this one time, or say yes to something that you're like, I don't know about that. This is like one really bad decision. It all affects you in some sort of way. So my advice in this regard would be like, pause. Wait a second. Ask yourself this question, like, is this helping me become who I want to be or should be? And that helps with a lot of these different problems. I hope that when you look at these 3 different things and really become more aware of them, that you could see how important they are. I've seen in my life many of my high school friends who were so intelligent and so bright and had such a good future ahead of them. They chased the good times, they chased the college experience that you're gonna hear so much about, that you're like, is it worth it? No, it's never worth it. You might have fun for one night, but you're gonna mess up yourself for life. And I've seen that people burn out so quickly, and it's so sad because you can see it happening in their life. But on the flip side, I've also seen people come into college and high school friends that I've had then who were like, I don't know if they'll really thrive in this college environment. And they do, because they come in with a totally different headspace. They don't come in trying to chase the popularity or the college experience. They come in striving to grow, to meet friends, to just learn. And the change in mindset between those two is it's life-changing. From chasing the college high to I want to make a friend right now. It's so different. It's going to affect you a lot. So I feel like one thing that's going to help us a lot is take some practical steps over the next couple days, couple weeks, whenever you start college. And I think this episode's good because it ties together like almost every episode that we've talked about so far. It ties it all together, like your origin, like how you start college, the decisions you make, how to manage your time, how to navigate relationships with your professors. Like, it's all tying together in this episode. So episode 2 is a great starting point. Like, be intentional with your time and your calendar. Plan out time, plan out studying, rest. Find people around you that can pour into you, but you can also pour into, to help keep you grounded and keep you focused on what really matters. And this one is kind of convicting for myself because this is something I learned last year, is it's okay to say no. Even good things, like, you need to give yourself time and space to focus on yourself, and saying yes to everything is going to harm you in the long run. And then last episode, we talked about the dorm life. Like, make sure you get good sleep, make sure you eat and live healthily, and like, make sure you're getting that daily fuel to push yourself forward. Now, with all of that, you're not going to live perfectly or do all these things great the first time or at all, but it's all about a mindset, and it's going to help you in the future. So I hope that you don't experience any of these freshman fails or poor decisions, and I hope that you become more aware of them, and that if you see other people struggling with it, that you can help point them out and bring them up with you. You're in college not to impress people, but you're here to become someone who God can use and you yourself can be proud of. So if you learned anything from this episode, don't be afraid to share with somebody who you feel like needs this. We need to partner with each other and not live life alone. So remember, don't do college alone, and let's navigate college together. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Peace out, guys.